All right, let's get started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2021 USA Cricket Annual General Meeting. My name is Parag Marathe. You may know me as the chairman of the board of directors for USA Cricket. Uh, I wanted to start off by apologizing for potentially some background sounds if they do come. I'm tucked away in a little corner of the international terminal at SFO. So my apologies in advance if we have a few interruptions for some flight announcements. But anyway, let's get started. I know it's late on a Sunday evening, and I really am humbled and appreciative that you've chosen to spend your evening joining the leadership of USA Cricket to hear everything that we've done last year, the challenges that we've faced, and how we navigated those challenges, and frankly, how we're and you guys can learn about our plans for the future. I think during this meeting, so we can sort of set the stage here, you'll receive an update on our 2020 activity. We'll present our independent directors to you so you can just get to know them a little bit and hear from them individually. And I think you'll get some various updates from our key committee chair members, as well as a detailed 30-minute presentation on the landmark deal that we struck between USA Cricket and Major League Cricket, which something that I'm very excited about. Given that we sent out invites to the 20,000 or so individuals that who are currently registered members within our membership portal, and unfortunately there are fortunately there are no matters to be voted on. The board recently decided to run the AGM through this live broadcast that you are all viewing on YouTube, and really in the interest of transparency, to open the broadcast to anybody who might be interested in the developments of USA Cricket during 2020. It does seem likely that we'll need to carry out an entire review of the USA Cricket Constitution as we consider provisions relating to the AGM at that time, to ensure future meetings are designed and organized in the most effective way we can. We have invited questions in advance, and so some of these we've gotten already, and we'll try to address as many as we can as the meeting progresses. And if there's demand for further questions and we're unable to get to all of them, we'll consider different ways to go about addressing those questions. Anyway, while 2020 has been a challenging year for everybody, both personally and professionally, I'm sure everybody has an individual story that has really highlighted an individual personal challenge. I know I have for sure. But at the same time, we've all needed to address those obstacles and hurdle those obstacles. And just like everyone else has done, USA Cricket has made positive strides, which I'm excited to share with you guys shortly. I think it's probably good for me to, before I get into the chairman report, to just pause for a moment to give a little bit of a COVID update. As you may or may not know, in addition to my role as the chairman of USA Cricket, I'm involved in two other sporting organizations as the president of San Francisco 49ers Enterprises, as well as the vice chairman of Leeds United Football Club in the Premier League. And so I've been very close to the ground, specifically the sports ground, on the impact that, really to be precise, the negative impact that COVID has had in the professional sports world. And through the lens of each of these organizations, USA Cricket included, I've really seen how COVID has impacted livelihoods, not just fans and the ability to host and play matches, games, but really how it's impacted families and players and coaches and everybody associated with sports. The good thing is, we as sports communities, we've had the ability to make a positive impact in our respective communities. We've all taken the responsibility and accountability to make positive change. So, for example, as you may or may not have seen and read, the use of stadiums for mass testing and vaccination sites has contributed greatly to the improving vaccination rates across the world, and specifically in the US and the UK. Elsewhere, the lack of necessary supplies and resources has really had a damaging, catastrophic results in different places. During this last year, we've seen an incalculable loss and hardship caused by COVID across the USA Cricket membership and within our organization. Fortunately for us, it feels like we are headed in the right direction as we are all navigating out of this. But not everybody's able to navigate out of this so seamlessly. Myself as a second generation Indian American, with a lot of family members still in Mumbai and really throughout, at least my family throughout Maharashtra and India. This devastating situation that's happening in India across the subcontinent is really personally concerning to me and my colleagues at USA Cricket. And I know that many of you are probably personally impacted as well. It's time for at least myself, and speaking for myself, to think about, take a little bit of time to reflect and think about what I can do to help, because these are our brothers and sisters in India, both sporting as well as family. And USA Cricket stands with our brothers and sisters in the cricketing community, at least. And we do pledge to offer our ongoing commitment to work together with everybody to build our sport back together, and to galvanize communities, certainly here in the US, to galvanize communities so we can once again bring joy, happiness, and bring the sport to everybody here. I think while the pandemic has really delayed, I wouldn't say stopped, I think it's halted and delayed the growth of cricket here in the US and really abroad. Our path to success is actually even clearer, more clear than ever. And we're excited to share these details with you in today's session. So with that, I think we'll transition to the chairman's presentation of the annual report. And bear with me, I'll only be a few more minutes here as I go through the highlights of the annual report. As I said, COVID was led to a really challenging year. There weren't we did not have any domestic cricket events for USA Cricket, as many leagues and many sports across the world were shut down. We did have, with one exception, we didn't have international cricket events either, and for men's, women's, or under 19. But all is not lost. In fact, I'm very proud of what USA Cricket accomplished last year. We looked inward and developed a new foundational plan, and I'm really excited about the foundational plan. Number one, we agreed on a vision for cricket to become a mainstream sport in the US. And we have pledged that we're going to do everything that we can for USA Cricket to become a full member nation by 2030. And while that's a lofty goal, I think it's a very achievable goal. We've spent a lot of time developing the 5 key strategic objectives that will help USA Cricket to achieve that vision, and really to identify the various actions and initiatives that we'll need to tackle, and really which ones to prioritize. We also, at USA Cricket, launched a new membership program, complete with a bespoke online portal. We've seen, as a result of that great work, we've seen membership rise from the previous number of approximately 700 to 20,000 individuals who are currently registered in the portal and received invitations for today's Zoom session. We really hope that when the portal is fully functional, it will become extremely important tool for engaging and building trust within the cricket community. We're excited about that. Something else we're really excited about is we have teamed up with Cricket West Indies in expressing interest to host major ICC cricket events in the near future. We know that the ICC is actually will be announcing the allocation of these events, international events, between 2023 and 2031 during the course of this year. And we will continue to work closely with Cricket West Indies to put our best foot forward. The prospect is even more exciting and realistic given the new venues that are being developed by our commercial partner, MLC. You saw the one earlier last year with what we did outside of Dallas and Grand Prairie. And we have hopefully some more exciting announcements to share in the near future on the stadium front. On the major event front, something that I'm very excited about personally is that we are working closely with the ICC's working group to bring cricket to the 2028 Olympic Games in LA. I have a lot of very good friends who are very closely tied and running the LA Games in 2028. And so I've been in frequent communication with them. And this opportunity is actually a perfect time for us, perfect time for the ICC, and obviously for USA Cricket. And if we can have some positive developments on the Olympic front, it would really catapult and accelerate a lot of our growth objectives. So I'm really excited for that, and especially given my close relationships with the people who are running the LA 2028 Games and the USOC. I'm really excited to play a personal role in trying to move this project forward. So there are two upcoming ICC events that qualifying events that are happening in the US this coming summer, which we are looking forward to supporting. First, we're hosting the ICC Americas regional qualifiers for the 2022 Under-19 World Cup in the Caribbean. And it is a priority for us to put plans in place to give our players the best chance for qualifying for that World Cup. We'll also be hosting the ICC Americas regional qualifier for the 2023 T20 World Cup. And I apologize for the sound above if you can hear that. And we have exciting plans to be announced shortly about a new domestic structure for women's cricket, which will help to prepare our players for this event. We expect both of these to be great events and yet another step in the right direction for cricket in America. I want to close my remarks by thanking you all for joining us tonight and for your continued support of USA Cricket. We know that you all share the same passion for us and for the game as we do, and we hope you enjoy the meeting. I really appreciate everyone taking time out of their Sunday evening to be a part of this. And we're excited to try to give you some succinct updates on everything that we're doing. And I think what we'll do at this moment in time is allow you to get to know a couple of there are 3 independent directors on this board, and I think it would be helpful for you guys to just hear from them for a couple minutes, just so you can match a face with the name and hear from them directly. So we'll circle back to me, but for now, I really would like to introduce my friend and colleague, Catherine Carlson, who has a few things that she'd like to share about her own background and reasons for joining. Catherine.
Thank you, Parag. I appreciate it, and thank you for joining us all tonight. I just wanted to say hello. As Parag said, my name is Catherine Carlson, and I was actually appointed as the Women's Independent Director for USA Cricket back in August of 2018. It seems like such a long time ago. But just wanted to give you some background on me because I haven't met a lot of you. I've worked in the sports and entertainment industry for close to 30 years now. And currently my professional life, I'm the Senior Vice President of Revenue and Strategy at the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm responsible for leading the revenue, the sponsorship and sales functions for the club. I just completed my second season with the team, and I follow up on Parag's comments about this has been a tough year for sports globally. I mean, trust me, I understand a tough year. The global impact of COVID on competition. I think my team, the Philadelphia Eagles, played in front of 5,000 fans for 3 games. So we were really impacted like the rest of the world. I've never seen anything like this in my entire career. But like USA Cricket, we're all impacted. But so prior to the Eagles, I also spent 11 years with the Orlando Magic in the NBA in a very similar role. So I'm fairly well versed on the operations and revenue opportunities for 2 of the biggest professional leagues here in the USA, the NFL and the NBA, and hope to put those skills to use when we have our Major League Cricket as part of our ongoing growth of cricket in the US. Just to give you some sense of why cricket, I was actually introduced to the International Cricket Council, the ICC, during my 10 years at Walt Disney World and the Disney Wide World of Sports down in Orlando. Back then, I think it was in the late 90s, we were actually contemplating building a cricket venue at Disney, and I was very involved on working on this project for many months with the then CEO Dave Richards and Campbell Jameson, and he was the head of commercial there at the time. And so although that didn't materialize, I spent months getting to know the team and really seeing that there was such an opportunity for cricket in this country, which is very, very exciting. I've also, just to give you a sense of further background, I've also spent time working for various national and state governing bodies in Australia, including stints with the Australian Field Hockey and Rugby League. So I really have a passion and understanding of the importance of our grassroots programs, youth development, and pathways for our elite players. I know that's very, very important. I actually played a little indoor cricket for a few years during my teenage years and spent many a days watching cricket games at the Melbourne Cricket Ground in Melbourne, Australia. But as a USA Cricket Board member, I currently chair the Finance and Commercial Committee, and I'm also a member of the Women's and Girls Committee. I'm very passionate about women in sports as well. And the reason I share this all with you is just really to highlight the purpose of having independent directors. It's really about bringing outside perspectives, skills, and experiences to complement our other board members that really represent all you, the key stakeholders in our cricket community here in the US. My goal, and I believe the goal of our independent directors, is really to focus on strategy, collaboration, and sustainability. And basically in order to help USA Cricket grow in this country, which is why we're all here, right? So at the end of the day, I want what's best for the USA Cricket. Excited to be part of the board. Thank you for having me. And I think moving forward, we still need to have that unity and sometimes putting aside our self-interest for the betterment of the sport. And I think with that, we will continue to grow as an organization here in the US. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Rohan. Sajde, I make sure I say that correctly, Rohan. I want to turn it over to my fellow independent director, Rohan, to take it from here.
Hi everyone, good evening. It's Rohan Sajde here. It's great to be with you all. Passion, thank you for that. I am very energized to be with you all today. From a professional background standpoint, I've been with a company called the Boston Consulting Group for the last 25 years. I'm a senior partner and managing director at the firm, and I also hold 2 leadership roles within my tenure there. I lead our consumer and retail practice globally. It's our largest industry practice for the firm, but I also lead our global sports business, which is obviously the most relevant professional aspect as it pertains to this. And over the course of the last 15 years or so, I've had the opportunity to work with the leading leagues, governing bodies, teams, private equity players, media, and large events of those around the world, including folks like a number of Olympic Games, the English Premier League, the ICC itself, the PGA Tour in golf, etc. And so it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to bring that experience and exposure to actually cricket, which is my first love. I was named after the great West Indian batsman Rohan Kanai. I had the privilege of playing first-class cricket in England at Cambridge. For those of you that check the records, it's a pretty dismal career, but it's something. In addition to that, I've consulted at the ICC, as I mentioned. In fact, it's a proud day in a couple of weeks for me, because the World Test Championship final, which will be played in England June 18 and 22, is actually an original conception of some work that I was a part of over a decade ago. And so it's great to see that come to life. And I'm also directing a film in this space, would you believe? And so cricket runs deep. I have a great passion for it. And so the opportunity to be part of the US Cricket Board is indeed a privilege and one that I relish. And certainly for me, with a business background and a business experience, having seen a lot of leagues and governing bodies operate, it's my real passion to try and bring a perspective anchored in hard-nosed economics. How do we maximize the pie of what's possible for US cricket here? And in the basis of doing that, not for any other reason, but to be able to give us a pool of funds to be able to grow the game at a grassroots level, to really invest in the long-term grassroots development of the sport in the United States. It's a great pleasure to have been with you all today. I hope you enjoy the update and the transparency as Parag spoke to. And with that, I hand it back to Parag for him to give you his personal introduction, and then we build from there. Thanks again.
Thank you, Rohan. I had a close call there. I got bounced off and quickly got back on. I was thinking on my feet. It took me 7 seconds to get back on. I'll just give you a few minutes on me for those who don't know me very well. I have been in professional sports in the sports world for 20 years. I'm going on my 21st season with the San Francisco 49ers. As president and COO of the team for 8 years in the last decade, my focus was on transforming us from being a club that played in the oldest stadium in the NFL to being a club that now plays in Levi Stadium. And in 2015, we hosted Super Bowl 50 in Levi Stadium. Within 49er Enterprises, we really focus on expanding the 49ers brand and our reach with all the great people that we have into other sports properties and incubating other businesses. We've built several. We built a sports agency, a sports marketing firm called Elevate Sports Ventures. We've also invested in Leeds United, which I said is a club in the Premier League, where I am the vice chairman of Leeds. And so I've been around sport my whole life. And when I was first approached with the opportunity to get involved in USA Cricket, to be fair, I didn't know much about the sport. My father played and loves the game. I have a lot of family that does love the sport here in the US and also in India. But I started to do a little research, and I realized to myself, wow, here is something that is the second largest sport in the world. And here we are in the US domestically in the largest media market in the world. So you have the second largest sport in the world. You have the largest media market in the world. Why can't USA Cricket and why can't cricket in the US be a resounding, tremendous success? There's no reason it shouldn't be. That in and of itself is the opportunity. And for me, while I've learned quite a bit more about the game over time, what I do have a specific, unique, acute experience with is building things, building organizations, transforming organizations, building something when nothing is there. And that's what I think that I can really add value to helping build USA Cricket and building everything that we want to do, including Major League Cricket. Something that my goal and my hope is to build something that doesn't just span my chairmanship, however long that is, that doesn't span my career in sports, but really I want this to go beyond my lifetime, where hundreds of years from now, we all look back on today or these last 2 years and we think to ourselves, that was the birth of cricket in the US. Holy smokes, 100 years from now, when we are the dominant or one of the most dominant countries and dominant places for cricket in the world, this is going to be the beginning. This is where it all began. At things like this AGM that we're having, at this annual meeting that we're doing, like this is what I'm excited about. I saw it 2 years ago. I went to the World Cup at Lord's, and this was in July of 2019 in London. And I didn't know too much about how to play the game at that time. And I sat in the ECB's box. And I didn't need to know that much. What I saw was magic. What I saw was captivating. What I saw was the entire grounds be transformed with a positive energy about the sport of cricket. And I just thought to myself, there's no reason why we cannot replicate this and surpass this in what we are trying to do here in the US. And that's really what I'm excited about. And I really hope that we each take the responsibility and accountability for building something that outlasts each of our careers and lifetimes. So I want to leave you guys with this one message before concluding. Just trust us, trust the system. We have great people. We have committed people. We have great partners. We have a good plan. We have an ambitious plan, but it's a good plan. And we have support from the international community. It is not taken lightly by the ICC and our partners that we've got such great independent directors. If you look at Catherine and Rohan and the sports pedigree and their tremendous well-respected backgrounds that they have, it's really tremendous that while we are just a little small nascent seed right now trying to blossom into a giant redwood tree, we have the right support. And I have no doubt that we're going to get there in time. So we are building something great. And we appreciate you guys coming along for the ride with us, and it is going to be something that we're all going to be proud of. So thank you so much for joining. And now I'm going to hand it off to our CEO, Ian Higgins, who's going to recap the 2020 year for us. Ian, take it away.
Thank you, Parag. Good evening, everybody. 2020 was definitely a year with unprecedented challenges for the world, and the COVID pandemic really did present some significant challenges for USA Cricket. Very little domestic cricket, very little international cricket possible on the field of play, and our calendars and budget and activity plans were constantly being postponed and revised throughout the year. As I reflect now, when we turned the corner from 2019 into 2020, other than the men's and the women's national teams and some of the cricketing support staff, USA Cricket was essentially a blank sheet of paper with a solitary full-time staff member, a community with huge aspirations, expectations and demands, and a commercial partner that had just been signed on in the form of MLC that was itching to get moving. Frankly, as an organization, we were a little under-resourced, we weren't properly structured, and we didn't have, at the start of the year, a strategic framework that would help us to prioritize all of the tasks and activities that we were faced with putting in place during the course of the year. So to some extent, COVID, despite the challenges, presented us with an opportunity to address some of those things without having to deliver on the field of play at the same time. And we were able to put in place a number of people and processes and structures and plans that will stand us in good stead as we move forward. It wasn't the most exciting year in terms of work that captures the headlines, engages the fans, but it was an extremely important year in which the very first bricks in the foundation were developed. And so like other businesses, we spent the first 3 quarters of 2020 really just trying to understand and readjust to the COVID impact. And during this period, we put in place a cricket operations director, a finance manager, a development manager. We recruited a new head coach. We put in place revised selection panels and volunteer youth coordinators. We also made improvements to the governance model of USA Cricket, appointing a brand new set of committees and terms of reference with greater independent members of those committees with expertise suitable to those roles and responsibilities of those committees that were directly linked to the evolving foundational plan that Parag referred to. We were also able to spend some time completing some various research efforts that we needed to do to understand better the existing landscape that existed in USA Cricket and so that we were able to operate more effectively as soon as the time came. Pleasingly, by the final quarter of 2020, we really started to see an increased level in the operational activity that built on the planning effort, and some significant developments took place in the form of the launch of the foundational plan, the establishing of minor league cricket, and the securing of a cricket-specific venue at Grand Prairie, Texas. Each of those on their own represents massive steps forward for cricket in the USA. We highlight progress in a number of areas within the annual report that we published on Friday, but the most important for me was the launch of the foundational plan, and the 5 strategic objectives set out within that will be the driving force behind all of our major decisions moving forward, and we believe will set us on the path towards achieving our vision of making cricket a mainstream sport in the USA, whilst also achieving full member status within the ICC by 2030. And the diagram on your screen at the moment represents a summary of the key achievements in 2022 grouped across those 5 strategic objectives of growing engagement, increasing participation, improving the performance of national teams, delivering financial stability, and building trust in the community. Just to address that final one, first of all, you'll hear from the membership committee chair shortly about the efforts that have been made to develop a membership portal, which in time will bring together the entire USA Cricket community. The portal was finalized at the very end of 2020 and launched in 2021, and we were delighted that approximately 20,000 individuals have now registered within the system. Unfortunately, this project has suffered from a number of challenges over the past few months, and we're all very disappointed that it's not fully up and running as we had envisaged. And speaking personally, this is definitely the most disappointing aspect of 2020, especially since it has some unintended knock-on consequences in terms of board elections and membership matters more generally. We ask in the circumstances for your patience and understanding as we work around the clock with our technology partner to try and resolve all of the issues associated with the membership portal. On the positive side, we're delighted with the overall response, which we believe indicates that there is a significant groundswell of community support for USA Cricket and everything that we are doing. And of course, we look forward to establishing the first ever leagues committee once the membership numbers are fully verified. Also within the spectrum of building trust in the community, we saw in 2020 the back of 2 lawsuits, which helped to validate not only the tender process, which had resulted in the appointment of MLC, but also the acceptance of USA Cricket as a legitimate member of the ICC. We made significant efforts during 2020 to publish a large volume of updates, media releases, blogs, communications at regular intervals throughout 2020 in order to ensure that there were lots of communication and updates from us to the community. And we look forward to continuing that level of communication further. This annual report and this extended AGM are both much improvements on what we did in the previous years. And during 2021, we'll undertake a series of roadshows across the country that we were unable to do during 2020. On this topic, if I could just take the opportunity to address a couple of questions that have come in the past 24 hours or so. Firstly, in respect to the meeting itself, it's unlikely in the future with such a large number of registered members that there will ever be 10% of members in attendance in a meeting of this nature, and therefore that meetings like this might not fully meet the current constitutional definition of being quorate. However, since there isn't any formal business to be transacted at this meeting, and the purpose of it is to provide you with important information and updates about USA Cricket activities, I'm sure that everyone who is joining us is happy that the meeting should continue. Secondly, in respect of the board's previous decision to publish its minutes, a question has been asked about that, and I just wanted to explain that the position has been slightly complicated by the fact that those minutes contain within them some legal advice that was provided to the board and recorded within the minutes themselves. The board has recently taken some more advice on how to deal with that, and the advice is that the specific legal advice within the minutes needs to be removed prior to publication to avoid waiving legal privilege in that advice. So we wanted to explain that to you in this meeting, and you will see and understand why certain sections of the board minutes, when we publish them in the next 48 hours, will have some black lines within it. It's on the basis of legal advice that we have recently discussed and approved as a board. So the minutes of the meetings held this year so far and throughout all of 2020 will be published in the next 48 hours, with the minutes from 2019 to follow shortly after that. We've also been extremely conscious of the need to better communicate the full scope and details of the partnership agreement between USA Cricket and MLC. To that end, we've prepared a very detailed presentation on the scope and benefits of that partnership agreement, which we'll play later in this meeting and will maintain for posterity on our website thereafter. Also in the annual report, we touch upon the strategic objective of operating in a sustainable manner. Financially, I'm pleased to report that USA Cricket closed 2020 in a much more solid financial position than it had at the end of 2019. And despite our lofty ambitions, the board has throughout 2020 placed great importance on ensuring that we operate in a financially responsible manner. And various steps were taken throughout 2020, as was the case with many other businesses around the world, to freeze recruitment, to cut costs in order to ensure that we could preserve cash within the business, whilst the future cricketing, calendar, commitments, and financial revenue remained uncertain. During 2020, we received an unqualified audit of our 2019 annual financial statements and published along with them our 2019 tax return, and we're about to commence that process for the 2020 financial year right now. In terms of improving the performance of our national teams, the USA senior men's team were the only representative team to play any international cricket in 2020, with a preparation camp in Mumbai, followed by a disappointing Cricket World Cup League Two tri-series in Nepal. All other international cricket during 2020 was postponed or cancelled. But as I've already mentioned, this enabled us to shift our focus to developing the structures, staffing and pathways for men's, women's and youth cricket. A new men's head coach in the form of Jack Aaron Kumar was appointed, followed by a new men's and men's under 19 selection panel and a women's selection panel and 6 new zonal selection panels. 2 new critical coaching roles were then made in October, with Kevin Darlington named as the men's youth coach and Asif Mustafa as the women's youth coach. During the second quarter of the year, our men's and women's national players all began remote sessions together in training groups, with all players established on a new athlete management system and players committing to participate in a remotely driven training program during the worst part of the COVID pandemic. Finally, in the second half of the year, there was a return to some domestic cricketing activity under controlled conditions, with a series of minor league cricket franchise exhibition matches giving players opportunities where local regulations permitted. And then as soon as it was safe to do so, the talent identification events for women and girls resumed, with events being staged in locations where they had earlier been postponed. This was followed by the staging of a separate men's and men's under 19 zonal trials, which saw more than 600 participants over 22 days of cricket at 11 venues across the country. But unfortunately, in November, with COVID beginning to surge again across the country, the board had to make a difficult and extremely frustrating decision to cancel all of the previously postponed national championships for 2020. The year finished with some good news, as Parag mentioned, however, as we secured the rights to a couple of ICC regional qualifier events, and we look forward to the successful delivery of those events over the months ahead. Finally, on the participation side, the inability to play any cricket for the majority of the year meant that the efforts to increase participation levels, for the most part, also focused on planning and putting in place the right people and structures to support the implementation of those plans as and when we were eventually ready to do so. Various bits of audit work and research work on the scale and type of cricket that's currently being played in the US were carried out, and some planning groups were put together to help commence work putting together plans to engage with and support various parts of the cricketing pathway. So, for example, during the year, we carried out research and prepared a report on female participation, on youth cricket. We did a league survey to gather information about the current domestic league structures and playing numbers across the USA. And towards the end of the year, a youth tournaments planning group and a softball planning group were established to consider how best to engage with the large softball cricket community that exists in the US and what the appropriate structure for domestic junior cricket should be. To support our colleagues in the community, we published guidelines for returning to train and play, which were intended to highlight the cricket-specific risks associated with the COVID-19 and provided a framework of information and guidelines as to how people could safely resume training and playing cricket. We recognize that in order to grow participation in the sport at all levels, it's also important to create a proper program, pathway, and opportunities for umpires and coaches and other officials. And following a review of the landscape during the year, USA Cricket established for the first time ever an umpiring program and pathway, and subsequently complemented that with the appointment of 6 zonal umpire coordinators to assist in its delivery and implementation. Another key area of focus in the final quarters of the year was the creation of a new entry-level program. With few notable exceptions across the country, the lack of any significant entry-level junior cricket programs within schools and after-school community programs is one of the biggest challenges faced by USA Cricket in achieving our vision to make cricket a mainstream sport in this country. And to that end, a consultancy was appointed to work with us to design and deliver a national entry-level program for cricket that will be created and tailored specifically for young boys and girls across the country from the ages of 5 to 12 as their first introduction to the sport of cricket. The program will introduce cricket to young Americans as widely as possible in a sustainable manner, and much of that design work has now been completed, and we hope that pilot schemes will be launched in selected states in the second half of 2021. As I hope you can appreciate from the annual report and from my summary of its contents, the year has seen significant progress, if not on the field of play. And the board is extremely proud of our efforts to drive the sport forward in what was really a very challenging year. We now have a short video to play, which helps to bring to life for you all some of these activities.
attitude.
Making sure we're ready to go when the time comes.
Thank you for keeping cricket clean.
USA Cricket is hosting Talent ID events all over the country.
Absolutely, it's the first major step in achieving the vision, not only, as Parag said, to make cricket, USA Cricket a full member of the ICC, but also to make cricket a mainstream sport here in the USA.
Well, another sport is going to be moving in. Dan is live at what will soon be one of the finest cricket facilities in the country. Good morning.
Good morning, Tim. It is a game that dates back more than 500 years, first played in England, but it's gained a devoted worldwide following.
Locally, a lot of cricket fans here in Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and so we're excited in Grand Prairie to be able to build not just a cricket stadium, but a premier cricket stadium.
The hope is that we get to host the World Cup and we host some international matches right here in Grand Prairie.
A market like the United States, particularly where it is the #1 market for media, cricket is the second most watched sports in the world.
People in this country love watching the best of the best, right? That's what we love. We don't like watching second best or third best or things like that. And so as we matriculate on the path to becoming a full member and eventually competing in these World Cups with the best of the best in the world, that's what people love watching.
Okay, hopefully that helped to bring to life some of the information that you've had read to you and is presented in the report. Over the course of the next few agenda items, which should take us through the next 20 or 30 minutes, the committee chairs will provide a short update on the activities of their committees during 2021 so far and look ahead at their plans for the rest of the year. First up, I'm going to hand it over to Venu Pisike, who is the chair of the Development Committee. Over to you, Venu.
Thank you, Ian. Good evening, everyone. The Development Committee consists of 7 members, 3 directors, including myself, Srini Salvar, and Ajit Bhaskar. And there are 4 other individuals. Part of the committee are Erika Rendler, Jatin Patel, Brian Walters, and Bassett Thompson. This committee was formed in 2020, but some of the activities are carried over from the 2019 subcommittees I was heading that time, which are Youth Committee and Umpire Coach Education Committee. And some comprehensive work has been done in the last 1 year by the committee. And we are very proud for what we are able to plan and deliver, and continue to prepare some of the plans for the growth of cricket in the country. And some of the programs planned so far. Last year we have appointed 25 youth volunteers to help with the USA Cricket programs. And this year we have appointed 7 additional volunteer youth coordinators, and that making a total of 32 volunteers helping across the country to carry out the USA Cricket programs. And they were very instrumental in conducting the men's and under-19 trials late last year, and also helped organizing women talent IDs. On behalf of USA Cricket, I sincerely appreciate all these volunteers' commitment and dedication to USA Cricket. And we are also partnered with, as Ian mentioned in the report, we partnered with Alacria to develop plans to introduce and market entry-level program in particularly in schools at the elementary level. And currently we are, awaiting the proposals from our partner, and which we expect to see very soon, and for further review and approval. And we are hoping to roll out these programs, sometime this fall. And we also prepared, some plans for the youth tournaments, and initial tournament plans were prepared by the youth committee in early 2020, but later, recently, we have adjusted these programs to, for the national team pathway, to separate from the national team pathways. So basically, the cricket committee will look after the national team pathways, but the development committee is responsible for the junior pathway tournaments. We have prepared the plans to conduct the tournaments for juniors in 3 age categories, and under 13, under 15, and under 17 at both a zonal and national level, providing them maximum opportunities with a longer format. And thanks to all the working group members who are part of the youth planning working group, for putting a lot of time and bringing all the ideas in developing these plans. And the proposals were submitted to board early this year, and with the hope to kick off the junior pathway tournaments this summer. But unfortunately, we did not see that as a priority at this time, but we are very hopeful that we'll be able to roll out these tournaments sometime this year, later this year. And some of the work carried over to development committee are creating the certification programs for both umpires and coaches. So umpire certification program, which was actually approved and updated early this year, and we also appointed 6 zonal umpire coordinators to help with the USA Cricket staff to carry out this entry-level certification program. And the level 1 program is actually prepared and ready to be rolled out, and very soon we'll have the first level 1 program organized across the country. And as I mentioned, coach certification program was initially drafted, but we are hopeful to revisit this program sometime this year. And for the rest of the year, I would say there are some plans which are underway, and also some execution plans and the preparation plans. So as far as the execution, as the umpiring program is already prepared and ready to roll out, and we are hopeful to conduct the first USA Cricket's level 1 certification program this year. And also we are planning to roll out the entry-level programs for the schools in the fall, and also planning to roll out the coach certification program sometime later this year. And as far as the plans, we will continue to prepare the plans which are already started early this year to complete the proposals for the National Softball Cricket Championship. And we'll soon be forming a working group to initiate planning for the college cricket tournaments. And we're also planning to conduct a feasibility study for high school cricket championships. And apart from these programs, and we are preparing a few more programs, but subject to the resource, the time availability and the resource availability. And that's a report from the development committee. And thank you very much for the time. Now I'll pass down to Ian.
Thank you, Venu. Next on the agenda is the ACE Relations Committee update. So over to Suraj, please.
Thank you, Ian, and good evening, everyone who have been working selflessly to move cricket in the right direction in this country. A lot of remarkable effort is being put all across the country towards cricket and its development at multiple levels. So I want to spend the next few minutes sharing my excitement with you all about the highlights of USA Cricket which is going to be key in the next 12 months. What we're going to be, and also sharing some accomplishment together with the American Cricket Enterprise over the last year. Funding. We were able to help USA Cricket navigate through and execute historic contract between USA Cricket and American Cricket Enterprise. The contract enables the creation of a solid platform for introduction of major and minor league cricket in the USA. As a consequence, we have attracted a stellar group of investors who are easily the most credible group in any cricket league in the world. Some of the famous names in the list includes Kolkata Knight Riders Group, CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, CEO of Adobe, Shantanu Narayan, and CEO of Paytm, Vijay Sharma. The underlying vision is to provide professional pathways for aspiring homegrown cricketers in the years to come. Additionally, USA Cricket was also able to secure a significant amount of funding from ACE, in addition to the grant obtained from ICC to deliver financial sustainability and fund various development initiatives at the grassroots level. Second thing, infrastructure. As we strongly believe that the good quality turf wickets with fast outfield are essential for skill development at the highest level, we have a strong ongoing collaboration with ACE with a vision to build turf wickets all across the country. One of the significant developments from this effort is the Periview Cricket Complex in Houston, which hosted the USA Under-19 National Tournament last month. The cricket complex has a set of 4 phenomenal cricket grounds maintained by highly experienced curators working full-time at the facility. The grounds are dedicated 100% to cricket and have exceptional turf and lighting fast outfields. In addition to this, various other grounds have been converted to turf wickets in the San Francisco Bay Area, Seattle, Kentucky, and San Diego. In all these locations, we have spearheaded the effort to collaborate with local governments, cricket league officials, and actively coordinated logistics of clay procurement and maintenance equipment and curators to provide turf wickets. The third one is the professional pathways. USA Cricket had selected ACE as its exclusive partner for development of Major League Cricket, which is a professional T20 league in the USA. In order to establish a professional pathway for aspiring local cricketers to make it into Major League, Minor League Cricket was set up. The Minor League is intended to act as a pipeline to the Major League. The first edition of the highly competitive Minor League exhibition games were conducted successfully in spite of challenging times last year due to COVID. The more stringent COVID protocols were religiously followed during all games. Some key statistics about the tournament are as follows. More than 2,400 registered players were part of the selection process. 18 teams participated all across 17 venues. 15 matches were played. Over 15,500 runs were scored and 650 wickets were taken. It was heartening to see numerous local cricketers showcase their talent at this national stage. The fourth one is the resources for coaching camps and cricket operations. USA Cricket's partnership with ACE has had wide-ranging benefits. One noteworthy area has been consistent availability of high-quality professional resources to work on USA Cricket's key initiatives. One example worth pointing out is the accessibility of top-notch coaches who are former international cricketers of test-playing nations. They have helped to conduct multiple training camps at very high level for probables of the national team. This has helped players to fine-tune their skills, thereby improving the performance of the national teams. Additionally, there has been incredible support from ACE on the other side of cricket operations. As cricketers, we all may know that doing simple things right is not as easy as it sounds. The value of seamlessly managing cricket operations without any hiccups was exemplified during the National U19 tournament. It was rated as one of the best tournaments conducted by USA Cricket in the press. This would have not been possible without the support of experienced professionals at ACE and numerous selfless volunteers. Now I would like to move on and crisply share my excitement with you all about what is being planned in the near future. The second edition of the Minor League Cricket is being planned from July 31st to October 3rd. We will have about 27 teams playing across the nation, 208 matches over 10 weekends. You all will be able to enjoy the tournament via enhanced video live streaming. The initial planning of the inaugural edition of Major League in 2022 with 6 teams has started in a full swing. The plans for building a full-size cricket stadium in Dallas meeting ICC standards are underway. A training camp for talented probables selected for the USA Under-19 team has been organized in the Bay Area for 2 weeks in the next month. The training camp will be led by head coaches of USA Under-19 and USA men's team and supported by experienced coaches of ACE. They'll be playing a series of matches on turf against high-quality opposition teams. These are intended to help them fine-tune their skills, also build chemistry, which is precious in a team sport. Last but not the least, we will be pursuing our grassroots level vision of expanding the turf wickets footprint across the nation. We are planning to continue the installation of turf wickets across multiple locations in our nation. During the last year, while it has been incredibly painful to see millions of people suffering all over the world, working on cricket was truly a ray of hope, enjoyment, and a welcome distraction for me. I would like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity. In a year when the world stood still, I'm glad we didn't. Thank you. Back to you, Ian.
Thank you, Suraj. Next is the Women and Girls Committee update. Nadia is the chair of that. Over to you, Nadia, please.
Hi, Ian. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. For every output or deliverable that is seen out there or even not yet seen, there are many more hours of work behind the scenes to make things happen. So I'd like to thank my fellow committee members, Catherine Carlson, Priya Singh, Sham Chotu, and John Aaron for their dedication to setting up the foundation for a successful future in the women's game in this country. Our committee has been commissioned to provide oversight and guidance to activities identified in the foundational plan and to those which arise from time to time, which help to grow female engagement across all aspects of the game. Since the start of 2021, we've been progressing a plan to do just that, increase engagement among women and girls at all levels of the sport. This plan is an extension of the foundational plan's strategic focus on women and girls, as you would have heard earlier. The development of this plan has been very inclusive, as our committee have engaged national squad playing members, staff, and volunteers to provide input. Essentially, the plan will cover 3 buckets: how we're going to increase participation on and off the field, how we're going to improve the performance of our national teams, and how we're going to raise the profile of the sport in the country. We've just appointed 12 women and girls cricket coordinators across our zones, and more will be added pretty soon to ensure that we have good geographic coverage across the country. These coordinators will primarily be tasked with helping us to deliver that plan. And most recently, some of you would have seen that we announced plans for a new and unprecedented domestic structure for women's cricket in the USA. What we can expect to see from here on out is the publishing and implementation of our plan and key activities to engage women and girls across the sport. Some of the plan is already in action, as we're in the process of implementing that new domestic structure. And that structure has been created to provide a clear pathway for female players from grassroots all the way to representative cricket. It also provides for more domestic playing opportunities for our current and prospective national players. What the domestic structure is not, it's not a plan to recruit new players to the sport, such as the national entry-level program is set out to do, which will target schools. We will, however, be working on targeting colleges and universities in a very strategic project, and that plan is yet to be fleshed out. And our order of operations, it's been very deliberate, because when we do bring new recruits into the sport, we must have an existing infrastructure in place to support and encourage them. So that local club support system is going to be critical in the development of the sport in this country. And that is something that we're also going to be planning. So a bit more about the domestic structure. For the first year, this year, of our domestic structure, we're going to have 3 levels of competition. First, it's going to be the intra-regionals, the regionals, and then the national championship. At the intra-regionals, there will be 12 teams across 4 regions playing a mix of T20s and 40-over matches throughout the month of June. At the regionals, 4 regional teams will be selected and comprise the best players from the intra-regional competition. Again, there would be a mix of T20s and this time 50 over matches throughout the month of July. In both levels of competition, the intra-regionals and regionals, our women and under-19 girls would be mixed together on teams. And finally, our regionals will culminate with 2 separate national championship events. First, we would have the return of a women's national championship featuring the East Conference versus the West Conference, playing 3 50 over matches as well as 3 T20s from August 2nd through the 8th. And for the first time ever in US history, an under-19 girls national championship will be held. Again, there will be 2 teams featuring an East Conference versus the West Conference team playing 3 T20s from August 11th through the 13th. From both the senior and girls under-19 national championships, respective national teams would be selected. Our women would be on standby for the ICC Americas regional T20 qualifier, followed by the global 50 over qualifier toward the end of the year. Our girls under-19 team is slated to go on tour before the end of the year. Of course, all of this COVID permitting. It's been really challenging times for everyone, but there is so much potential for this sport in the country. And I would really urge all of you to get behind women and girls cricket. It represents the biggest and most exciting opportunity for all of cricket in the USA. Thank you. Back to you, Ian.
Thank you very much, Nadia. Great stuff on the women and girls side. If I could now pass it over to Sushil, who is the chair of the Cricket Committee and who will be providing an update in respect of plans coming out of the Cricket Committee.
Thanks, Ian. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to start off by saying that COVID has certainly been a big challenge for everyone, and I sincerely hope that everybody's families are doing well, and we're all standing behind each other in these testing times. I'd like to start my update by thanking my fellow committee members that have kind of worked with me within the committee, Nadia, Srini Salvar, Vince Adams, and Jeff Crow. I'm sincerely thankful to everyone for all the time they've devoted to some of the efforts and helping cricket move cricket forward in USA. Just quickly, an update on the Cricket Committee and what we've been able to achieve in 2021. In early January, we actually finished the remaining zonal trials. There were, as you might recall, there were 3 of the 14 zonal trials that we could not conduct in 2020 due to COVID in Boston, Tampa, and Los Angeles. And the team was able to actually approve those and complete those trials. We also increased the number of zonal selectors across USA, and this effort was done primarily based on the backdrop of conducting the zonal trials, where it clearly emerged that there were certain areas within the country where more zonal representation was required. From February to April, we also finalized the selection of the national and the zonal training groups. This was also a big achievement because it required coordination with all the zonal selector groups and teams across the country within all the zones. And so this was a pretty big effort to get that finalized. In April, as you all know, and has been referenced previously as well, we were able to successfully conduct the under-19 national tournament, which was a big success. And a lot of people worked tirelessly behind the scenes. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everybody that was involved, all behind the scenes in organizing the great partnership that emerged between ACE and USA Cricket to get these resources to help conduct this particular tournament. Moving forward, just wanted to quickly summarize some of the upcoming events and again, just a slight disclaimer about COVID playing its role in the successful hosting of these events. But as you have seen, we will continue to try our best to manage all these events safely. So the first couple of ones to mention are from an ICC regional events perspective is the Under-19 Men's Cricket World Cup qualifier in mid-August, which will be hosted by USA. And then the Women's T20 qualifier that is scheduled for early September. A lot of people are obviously interested in the domestic national tournaments. And the men's national tournament is another massive undertaking, which is on the cards, but we don't have a specific date as yet, but it's on the cards for later in the year, potentially Q3 or Q4. As Nadia mentioned, there's a lot of work going on the women's pathways, and the women's nationals are scheduled for early August, with the under-19s to follow immediately after. Our men's team is scheduled to play in the ICC Regional T20 qualifier. This particular tournament is a little bit in flux right now, with ICC yet to provide firm guidance on the location of it. But there is a special importance for this tournament because there is a proposal at the ICC level to increase the number of teams in the T20 World Cup from 16 to 20, and we feel that with the right preparation, we as USA can give it a real shot. So that's pretty exciting if things line up for our men's team there. And as we speak, we are looking to launch about 10 to 12 hubs, the USA Cricket training hubs, in about 10 to 12 cities across USA in May and June. So a lot of you that should have been contacted by Richard Dunn on launching these and organizing some resources to help launch these hubs. That's pretty exciting as well. Moving forward, we certainly want to look into the national youth tournaments for the various age groups. And the cricket committee will be working to provide some plans for the pathways, as well as successfully conducting the national tournaments. And the vision there is that we would like to see some national representation for potentially the under-15s and under-17s to have bilaterals with other countries like Canada, and provide our youth an opportunity for national representation even before the under-19s. And finally, I'd like to just continue to reiterate our big project to send our under-19s to the World Cup this year. So phase 2 of that particular project has the 26 selected players now scheduled to go to the Bay Area to have further training and selection games. And hopefully we'll have our the 14 final 14 from that emerging from that camp to represent USA, and then we can go into phase 3 to actually start training the team and getting them ready. So with that, I'd like to pass it over for all of us to enjoy a quick video on the under-19 national tournament, which was hugely successful.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic week. Seeing a lot of cricketers, 8 teams and 112 young cricketers here trying to make their mark to the bigger league. And yes, it's very well organized, and I've been enjoying this, watching some of the talent who are actually mustering their way up to the senior team as well.
This event is actually, I keep telling everybody, this is not really the under-19 national tournament for me and for US Cricket. It is our journey to the World Cup, and this marks the start of that journey.
This tournament is going to be a great platform for everyone to showcase their talent, and with this tournament, it's going to be the start of USA Cricket, and there's more to come from here.
Absolutely thrilled to be back on the pitch. I mean, it's been a long, hard 12 months, and you know, we've had a lot of plans in place and a lot of plans that we've had to change, and that's been very frustrating. But to see the action on the ground now and to see the quality of players that are around, it's really exciting.
The talent is, it's unquestionable, and I think just 2 years ago this was nothing but a sort of a dusty patch of a cricket field, and 2 years later we have some world-class facilities already. So as long as we can keep improving, I think there's exciting times ahead for USA Cricket.
We've got the cream of the crop here with the ability for them to showcase their talents, thus making it easier for us, the management and selecting team, to come up with the best possible squad.
This is obviously a big opportunity for players to showcase their talent, for youth to showcase their talent, and this huge opportunity when everyone is watching. So, amazing opportunity.
Big hats off to all the organizers, the coaches, and everyone that came here and put their time, especially during COVID. It's a big thing. This tournament means a lot to all of us.
It means a lot to me, especially from the point where I see the boys are so excited, because I have some kids who were getting a bit despondent, not having a pathway to look to. Now that they see this, and I'm sure it will encourage other kids to start training harder to get to the next level.
My performance, I think I was pretty pleased. The team did amazing. I had a lot of support from my captain and the coaches, and I think everything just worked out well.
This has by far been nothing but a team effort by a lot of individuals, and now we are in a position where we can offer not only the competitive cricket but also an opportunity to advance and play for USA in the World Cup qualifiers.
Thanks very much, Susil. Great stuff from the Cricket Committee. And that video is just really inspiring. Shows what we can do when we all work together as a team, and really sets the benchmark for the sorts of tournaments that USA Cricket, working with MLC, will be able to deliver moving forward for the rest of the year and in the years to come. So great stuff, and thanks on behalf of the USA Cricket Board to everyone that pulled together in order to deliver what was a fantastic tournament there. Now moving forward with the rest of the agenda, over to the membership working group, and the chair of the membership working group is Ajit.
Thanks, Ian. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow board directors. Those who don't know me, my name is Ajit Bhaskar. I have served as a cricket committee co-chair when USA Cricket achieved ODI status. I was also the chairman when we created the first ever strategic document for USA Cricket called Foundational Plan. I'm currently serving as the chairman of USA Cricket Membership Committee. I would like to thank my committee members, Avinash Kaje, Srini Salva, Catherine Carlson, Suraj Vishwanathan, Anahita Arora, Siraj Najam, and Donna Bowes for the work that they have put in during the final quarter of 2020 in helping to design the USA Cricket membership program and in its benefit. You would have seen the fruit of their labor at the start of 2021, when the membership brochure recommended by the membership committee was approved by the board and published to the community. What you wouldn't have seen was the huge amount of the work that was put in during the same period of time by our management team, working with our technology partner to design and build a membership portal that was capable of navigating the complex relationships and exit across the USA cricket community for the purpose of membership, but which has also had potential to grow into the world-class fan engagement tool. The membership launch at the start of this year was an overwhelmingly success in terms of securing the interest from the leagues, clubs, academies, players, officials across the country. By the time that membership portal closed in March, there were approximately 20,000 individuals members who had registered and verified their personal details and were allocated a unique USA Cricket identification number. The entire USA Cricket board was delighted with this response, which was the first step in long-term objective to unifying the entire cricket community. This is especially pleasing to see so many leagues and academies who have registered within the system, and many more have expressed interest and will come on board as soon as the membership portal is reopened. Prior to start of this year, USA Cricket was able to negotiate a national-wide insurance program that included general liability and secondary sport accident coverage. Many of the registered leagues, academies, clubs have benefited from that by obtaining certificates and of insurance that have allowed them to go back, book the facility for the year. We are pleased to have been able to assist in that respect. We accept and acknowledge the issues with the portal, and there are many reasons for that. It is disappointing that membership process has not been seamless on this occasion, but we ask for your patience and understanding as we work through these challenges. This is an extremely important project for the growth of USA Cricket, and we look forward to sharing further updates with you soon. Work has been ongoing over the past couple of months to prepare the first ever USA Cricket app through which the functionality within the membership portal can be delivered, and through which competition management tools, social feed, a personal curated news and content stream will be provided to each registered member. And we hope that app will become a one-stop shop for all those involved in cricket in USA. Down the line with the portal, we'll have player performance data will be accumulated at one place and will help our selectors. We will know where our members are located and we'll be able to conduct appropriate programs for them. Like this, we'll have many other advantages with this portal. This is an enormous step forward from where USA Cricket was previously with only 700 or so individual members. And on behalf of membership committee and board, I would like to thank everybody who made an effort to register and being part of USA Cricket. Once the upcoming elections are concluded, the membership committee will be reconvened to determine how best to engage all other members within the cricket community that have not yet engaged with the programs, as well as the millions of cricket fans across the country by offering an enhanced membership program that contains genuine commercial value and interest. In this way, USA Cricket seek to take steps to achieve its objective by building trust in community and increase the level of engagement with the sports in the community. This is just the beginning of the journey. We are working hard. We have a lot more members to register and way more functionality to deliver. And we make sure we all grow together as a cricket community. Saying that, thanks once again for the opportunity. Ian, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, Ajit. For the final committee update of the evening, it's over to Catherine, who is the chair of the Financial and Commercial Affairs Committee.
Thank you, Ian, and hello again, everyone. As the chair of the Finance Committee, I just want to recognize my fellow committee members, including Ram Varadarajan, Abhimanyu Rape, and Shahid Ahmed. and my fellow director, Avi. He was formerly on the board and, on the finance committee, but had to recently step back. So big shoes I had to fill there. So thank you to all. It's been a great couple of months in getting everything ready for this year. So we're actually a relatively new committee, and our main task during 2020 was really to provide guidance to help steer our path forward, especially given that COVID has really created a huge uncertainty around the future of the cricketing calendar and as a result, all the revenue streams associated. So since the turn of the year, the Finance Committee has provided significant input and guidance into the operational budget for 2021. And per our USA Cricket Foundational Plan, one of our core objectives is to, quite frankly, is to deliver financial stability. Ian mentioned it earlier. That's really important for the future of USA Cricket. The Finance Committee, we met back in March and we reviewed the original budget, and we had to make some key recommendations to the board. And that was based on several factors that were impacting USA Cricket at the time. So outside the obvious impact of COVID, the Finance Committee had some concerns about the impact and consequences of an ongoing lawsuit brought by 2 current directors on the board. And as a result, that led to uncertainty around increased admin costs relating to legal fees and resources being allocated to dealing with the lawsuit. We also had uncertainty as a committee around key funding sources, and then a reduction of our previously budgeted but unsecured sponsorship and fundraising revenue. So with the goal around delivering financial stability and delivering a fiscally responsible budget, the Finance Committee recommended to the board that certain expenses and activities should be removed or reduced from the 2021 budget plan. Never a fun conversation, but having considered many and numerous budget models and scenarios over a series of meetings, the board recently endorsed these recommendations by the Finance Committee. We actually had to make some very tough decisions, not a fun task. Unfortunately, this has resulted in the elimination of previously proposed budgets for some programs such as youth tournaments, a softball cricket tournament, a reduction in the costs to be allocated to the entry-level program, which we're just about to kick off, and a reduction in the previously proposed number and value of player contracts and continuing salary cuts for staff. So I know that's a lot, and this was a disappointing outcome, but this year is one that hopefully we put behind us. And the reality is USA Cricket does not have unlimited resources, and we need to, as an organization, deliver a fiscally responsible budget. So these recommendations represented a really necessary step to ensure that USA Cricket maintains its strategic objective of operational sustainability, which is the most important thing at the end of the day. In addition, the USA board recently requested management to plan on the basis that the activities, we reschedule them as far as possible into Q3 and Q4 to ensure a positive cash flow position for the organization and to mitigate against any continuing adverse impact of the lawsuit in the months ahead. As a result, the Men's National Championships previously scheduled for May and June will instead be rearranged for later in the year, and the entry-level program will not be launched until the final quarter of this year. So despite the challenges by a reduced operational organizational budget, we actually are pleased to report that in line with the USA Cricket Foundational Plan, the board has been able to rebalance the proposed expenditure such that when compared to previous 2 years, there is a significant increase on the planned expenditure in percentage and actual terms on both women's and girls' activities, as well as youth cricket and development activities in generally. And we look forward to making some detailed announcements about some of those activities and that are currently proposed, currently proposed domestic and international calendar in the days following this meeting. On a more positive note, the Finance Committee has approved the appointment of Forefront, a commercial and marketing agency, and they're going to assist us in helping USA Cricket to identify, develop, and create new opportunities for commercial revenue streams. Work is underway to firstly prepare a complete inventory of all commercial assets available so we can monetize them. And then we want to develop an overarching commercial rights strategy and sales story that will support and identify potential sponsors and partners, and basically at the end of the day, introduce some new revenue streams to USA Cricket, which will help us get some of our other plans up and running. So we look forward to announcing the results of some of these programs and identifying where we have the best opportunities for 2021. So in summary, I know COVID set us back a year, as is the case across the globe, but I think the ability to create new and incremental commercial revenue sources is going to be a critical part of our plan moving forward. Our goal is always to focus on the future sustainability as we look to move away from our current reliance on revenues received just from our two sources, the ICC and MLC. So with that, good news, bad news, I'm going to hand it back to Ian.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Well, this next agenda item is good news only. We've now got through most of the agenda, and we are running probably about 15 or 20 minutes late. But the next agenda item is really important, and one of the critical things that we wanted to get across to everybody who's listening today, and that is to explain in great detail how the USA Cricket and Major League Cricket partnership has been conceived and how it's structured and how it will operate moving forward. There is a 30-minute segment that we have pre-recorded that we will play in one moment, and that will take you through the partnership agreement in a significant amount of detail so that you can try to get to grips with exactly how that will play out over the years ahead. With that said, I'm going to hand over, Andrew, if you could please play the video, and I hope everybody enjoys it. Hello, everybody. My name is Ian Higgins, Chief Executive of USA Cricket. As you all know, in 2019, USA Cricket entered into a partnership with a company known as American Cricket Enterprises, or ACE for short. This followed a comprehensive tender process run by the USA Cricket Board to identify a commercial partner that could help it to tap into the huge potential for growth in this country by establishing a professional T20 cricket competition. This presentation is designed to explain the nature of the partnership and to highlight the key rights and obligations that have been granted and are imposed on each of those parties, and how this will help us to achieve our 2030 vision of making cricket a mainstream sport in the USA and achieving full membership status within the ICC. USA Cricket is recognized by the ICC as the sole governing body for the sport in the USA. And in that capacity, it has the exclusive right to sanction all cricket that's played in the USA in accordance with the ICC's regulations. The USA has long been identified by the ICC and others as the market with the greatest potential for growth, with its 10 to 20 million cricket fans and a cricket playing population that is larger than many full member countries. Recent developments, including the creation of a new governing body, USA Cricket, which is led now by a board which contains some of the most talented independent sports administrators and professionals in the USA, has helped to secure continued support from the ICC, as well as all of the full member countries. Since entering the original term sheet, ACE has rebranded as Major League Cricket, or MLC, and we'll refer to it as MLC throughout the rest of this presentation. MLC was established by 4 individuals, the 2 original founders of Willow Television, the largest cricket broadcaster in North America, Samir Mehta and Vijay Srinivasan, as well as Satyen Gaswani and Vineet Jain of the Times of India Media Group, one of the world's largest media conglomerates. MLC has sought investment from a number of additional investors, and the full list of investors can be found on the USA Cricket website. They include Shah Rukh Khan and the Knight Riders Group, Ross Perot Jr., Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, and Shantanu Narayan, the CEO of Adobe Systems. The entire investor list represents some of the most credible business and sporting entrepreneurs in this country and around the world, all of whom share the belief that the USA can become a major cricketing nation. This partnership has come together in a relatively short period of time, with the tender process in 2019 leading to a binding term sheet being agreed between the parties. During the first full year of partnership between USA Cricket and MLC in 2020, a long-form agreement was negotiated and drafted over many months, setting out in great detail how this deeply integrated partnership will operate moving forward. Now, before we turn to the detail, it's important to recognize and appreciate that unlike in other full member countries, there is a chronic shortage of high quality cricketing infrastructure and facilities, and no professional domestic competition of a standard that is capable of genuinely engaging with a domestic cricket audience. These factors present some unique challenges to growing the sport, especially in a country the size of the USA. And a huge upfront investment is required to be able to make any significant headway into these infrastructure challenges and to develop a league of the size and stature that has been conceived. As such, a long-term private investment was realistically the only model for USA Cricket to be able to achieve the seismic change that it hopes to be able to achieve for the sport in this country. And over the next few slides, we'll outline the rights and obligations that is the subject of the partnership agreement and clarify a number of aspects of the arrangement that have been misunderstood in the broader cricket community. Then, in the second half of the presentation, we put together a summary of the USA Cricket Foundational Plan and have apportioned responsibility between USA Cricket and MLC for all of the key initiatives and activities contained in it so that you can see the deep integration between the two businesses and the need for us to work closely together in everything that we do. This partnership represents one of the most significant and complex arrangements in world cricket, and it has taken a long time to work through all of the nuances associated with each and every aspect of this deal. So with all of that said, what exactly has been granted to MLC under the terms of this partnership? Well, the premise is relatively simple. USA Cricket has granted to MLC a 50-year right and license to do a number of things. First, to exclusively create and operate the professional short-form cricket competition that is played in the USA and which will be known as Major League Cricket. Second, to exclusively create and operate a secondary short-form cricket competition that is played in the USA and which will be known as Minor League Cricket. That MLC should be willing to assume the extensive operational costs and challenges of a minor league cricket competition is a good example of its understanding of the existing domestic structure and the importance of establishing a genuine pathway for US-based players to compete on a nationwide basis against the best players across the country on the best available facilities in order to put themselves in position to be identified and selected for the US national team and to be included within future Major League Cricket teams. Of course, MLC has been granted the rights to commercialize those events. And in order to help offset the significant costs associated with this and the infrastructure investments necessary, USA Cricket has also provided MLC with an exclusive license to commercialize the rights in respect of the USA Cricket national teams. Now, in exchange for those rights, MLC has taken on some critical obligations around funding and the development of infrastructure. The first is that they will deliver a professional domestic T20 tournament in the form of Major League Cricket on an annual basis, and MLC will of course bear all of the costs of that tournament alongside all of the costs of staging minor league cricket. In order to ensure that this activity can become profitable in the long term, MLC needs to invest in the significant uplift of the quality and quantity of the cricketing infrastructure in this country, including developing new venues of international quality and size, a high performance centre, and additional turf pitches and practice facilities. The costs associated with the development of this infrastructure are also considerable and will be borne exclusively by MLC, whilst those facilities will be made available to USA Cricket as they come on stream. Beyond the costs that MLC will need to incur itself, it has also agreed to provide USA Cricket with direct and indirect financial support. I'll talk about this in more detail in a few slides' time, but wanted to flag at this point that the forecasted direct financial support in the form of a gross revenue share payable to USA Cricket for the first 12 years is $28 million US, and the forecasted indirect financial support to USA Cricket's activities in developing the national teams is $128 million over the first 12 years. As for USA Cricket, well, it retains the exclusive responsibility for all other rights that have not been granted to MLC. And that includes all rights traditionally associated with a national governing body. Crucially, USA Cricket remains the sole governing body and member of the ICC, and it retains the exclusive right to arrange and organise all international matches for USA teams and to select players for those teams and supporting national and zonal training groups. As can be seen from this page, USA Cricket retains the right to develop the national domestic cricketing structure for longer form cricket, i.e. 50-over cricket, including national championships in that format, as well as the domestic structure for women and girls and all of the other parts of the developmental pathways such as youth cricket, college cricket, recreational and social cricket, entry-level and community programs. USA Cricket is also responsible for sanctioning all cricket that's played in the US under its sanctioning regulations. Although USA Cricket will not sanction any event that would compete with Major League Cricket or minor league cricket, as that would put it in breach of its exclusive grant. Obviously, there is a competing desire to have as much cricket played in the US as possible, and so a detailed process has been worked out to help determine circumstances in which any event where an application has been made may fall into that category and breach the exclusivity grant. Finally, as the governing body for the sport in the country and with much wider responsibilities to all stakeholders and to the ICC, USA Cricket has retained responsibility for developing integrity programs that are to apply to MLC and other domestic events and that protect against the risks of doping, corruption, and other ethical impropriety. So the MLC obligations essentially fall into 4 key areas: Major League Cricket, minor league cricket, cricketing infrastructure, and direct and indirect funding and support. Taking the first one first, Major League Cricket will be the first ever fully professional T20 competition played in the USA. It's going to feature international players of the highest standards playing alongside the very best domestic players and will involve some of the world's biggest superstars and brands. Just take a listen.
Hi everybody, this is Shah Rukh Khan, and firstly I want to thank American Cricket Enterprises and US Cricket for inviting the Knight Riders to become part of this new and exciting journey to establish cricket in general and T20 in particular in the US market. We at Knight Riders have been expanding around the world over the past few years and are very proud of the fact that we have become perhaps the only global brand in T20 cricket. We have done a lot of business in the US, especially with my films, and I'm thankful for all the fans in the US and around the world for the love and support that you all have given to me over the years. As we all know, the US is a sports-loving country and the biggest media market in the world. And I have no doubt that this partnership with the Knight Riders, the American Cricket Enterprises, and US Cricket will grow into something very, very special over the years. So I'm really looking forward to this exciting and wonderful new journey. Thank you.
We anticipate a promotional series of exhibition matches to whet the appetite for Major League Cricket in 2022, with the tournament proper commencing in the summer of 2023, where there will be 6 fully professional franchise sides. All matches will be broadcast live within the USA and around the globe, and by 2025, there will be 6 international quality venues in areas with the highest density of existing cricket fans. Of course, the pathway from the recreational leagues and the developmental schools, communities, and academy programs is an extremely critical part of the objective of establishing Major League Cricket in a sustainable fashion. As other countries have found out, the delivery of an international T20 event on its own, relying solely on foreign players, does not contribute significantly to the long-term growth of the sport in a sustainable fashion in that country. MLC recognized that. And there has already been huge endeavor on its part to create this secondary tier of nationwide competition known as minor league cricket, which will eventually become a fully semi-professional league with a multitude of teams competing across the US in different divisions and conferences. This will help to create plenty of opportunities for the best players to compete against each other in an important part of the pathway to representing the USA national team and securing a professional contract to participate in Major League Cricket as well. Whilst the COVID pandemic meant that the initial plans for minor league cricket in 2020 were scaled back, plans are in place for a full season in 2021 with more than 200 scheduled matches involving 450 players played across 10 weekends. This competition has also helped to bring together key stakeholders from across the country in an ownership structure that helps to secure and bring in new and additional third-party investment into the sport and facilities across the country, with the ultimate incentive for those minor league teams that meet the applicable growth metrics to be potentially eligible for expansion franchises into an expanded Major League Cricket in years to come. As you all probably are aware, there is only one ODI accredited venue and approximately 30 turf pitches across the entire country. This is a huge barrier to the sport's growth and stands in the way of the creation of a professional league and high quality international competition and events being played before crowds of thousands of fans. As such, MLC is contractually obliged to invest in the development of a minimum of 6 stadiums with targeted seating capacity in the range of 6 to 12,000. And as we speak, progress is being made on potential developments in Los Angeles, San Francisco, New Jersey, New York, Washington, Atlanta, Chicago, Florida, and Morrisville. And in October of last year, the first of a series of exciting announcements was made that a long-term lease had been signed to develop former baseball stadium in Grand Prairie, Texas, into an exclusive cricketing venue, which should be open in the summer of 2022 and is scheduled to host minor league, major league, and international matches and become the central hub for American cricket. As we've outlined in our foundational plan, we are working on the exciting prospect of seeking cricket's inclusion in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games and to jointly bidding with Cricket West Indies to host a number of major ICC events in the next right cycle from 2023 to 2031, including the potential to host a men's and women's T20 World Cup. Without MLC's investment into these and other infrastructure projects, USA Cricket would simply not be in a position to realistically push forward with these exciting aspirations. In addition to the venue development, MLC are committed to developing at least one high-performance cricket centre and to kit out that high-performance centre with staff and equipment, know-how and programs that USA Cricket and the broader cricket community will be able to benefit from in the future. The first of those was recently announced with MLC partnering with the Prairie View Cricket Complex in Houston, and work is scheduled to start to secure the construction of 8 new turf practice nets and wickets there, the upgrading of an additional 3 grounds to high quality natural turf wickets, alongside improvements to the outfield and the construction of a state-of-the-art cricket pavilion catering for both male and female players. In addition to its considerable outlay to develop the cricketing infrastructure across the country and the costs of running Major League Cricket and Minor League Cricket, MLC has also agreed to provide USA Cricket with direct and indirect funding. And as is shown on this slide, USA Cricket will receive a percentage share of all gross revenue generated by MLC from its exploitation of all of the licensed rights. It's important to understand that this is not a profit share, but rather a share in all of the gross revenues that are generated by MLC pursuant to this partnership. This means that MLC are effectively taking all of the risk that this venture will eventually become profitable, and that USA Cricket are not exposed to that risk in that they will receive a share in all of the revenue, even when the MLC and its activities are not profitable or are only able to generate small profit margins. To protect USA Cricket's position further, that revenue share is supported by an annually increasing minimum guarantee over the first 12 years, backed up by a corporate guarantee. And if MLC becomes of just how deeply aligned the two businesses will become, MLC has also agreed to assume responsibility for a range of costs that support the strategic objective of improving the performances of the USA national teams. In particular, MLC have committed to spend a minimum of $1.2 million annually in salaries, stipends, and other payments to players who are eligible to play for USA Cricket, as well as related coaching staff. It will also be the responsibility of MLC to cover the costs of all home and away international tours, matches, and series played by the USA national teams, as well as any additional costs associated with the team's participation in ICC events, as well as the costs of broadcasting, streaming matches played by the national teams, the costs of ensuring pitch curator expertise within the USA, and of creating and enforcing the USA Cricket Integrity Program. MLC has indicated that there would be additional funding and other support made available on an ad hoc basis to USA Cricket to support elements of its developmental pathways from time to time. It's forecasted that there will be $128 million spent on these items in the first 12 years, which would otherwise, in theory, be USA Cricket's cost. If at some point in the future, USA Cricket receives a material uplift in funding from the ICC as a result of becoming a full member, the additional ICC distribution will be used by USA Cricket to help contribute towards these costs. Despite the challenges of 2020 and the embryonic nature of the partnership, huge progress has already been made. And there has been significant investment already into minor league, high performance camps, and competitive match play opportunities for national training groups. There has been over $1 million spent on player contracts for USA eligible players. And we were able to come together, USA Cricket and MLC, to put on the most professional domestic cricket tournament ever held in the USA, in the form of the recently concluded Men's Under-19 National Championships. As you can see from the depth of integration between the two businesses, it's critical that USA Cricket and MLC are aligned strategically and operationally. It's easy to say at the outset of a new partnership that we want the same thing and that our interests are aligned, but we have built into the partnership a number of specific requirements that will help to keep us working in perfect alignment. Regular reviews of the partnership, collaboration on respective strategic plans, and a governance structure and model that enables the two parties to work together and help shape each other's plans and ideas. Central to that is the co-location of the two organizations and their staff in one office to ensure regular dialogue and alignment, and the creation of a collaborative working environment, including the sharing across both businesses of human resources and joint strategic, operational, and public communications. For USA Cricket and MLC to be able to tackle the challenges ahead, we will need to be creative, innovative, and collaborate. And above all, we need to seek to secure the trust and support of the USA Cricket community. Hopefully, the details that we're sharing in this presentation goes some way to achieving that. Before drawing this presentation to a close, I wanted to touch on two of the most controversial issues that have gone unexplained for too long. It's important to make clear that as part of its overall business plan, MLC intends to develop local academies across the country. And when you understand the nature of this partnership, it's easy to understand why MLC would want to go down this path. They share our desire to identify and develop high-quality junior cricketers that can help to sustain improved performance of junior and senior national teams, as well as form the player pool upon which minor league cricket and eventually Major League Cricket will primarily be based. More players in more academies across the country also leads to an increased number of players, coaches, and administrators in full-time employment within the sport in those academies, all of which will have a positive impact on the quality and competition of the cricket that's played in this country. This, however, is not part of the license granted by USA Cricket, but nor does it need to be. Just as every private academy across the country is free to incorporate and run its own business or partner with others as it sees fit in setting up its own academy businesses, MLC is no different. USA Cricket's objective is to ultimately democratize the sport and make it more accessible at junior level so that it is not just available for those who can afford to pay for it. But that is much further down the line. And as far as we are concerned today, more academies with better quality staff, better quality programs, better quality facilities is a positive outcome today. It's important to make clear that USA Cricket has not and will not afford to any of the MLC academies any type of official or designated or preferred status of any kind, just as USA Cricket doesn't endorse any other private academy. Similarly, USA Cricket will not treat players or coaches that work at any MLC academy or indeed any other academy any differently from others. And when it comes to selection matters, for junior teams and squads, USA Cricket will remain exclusively responsible for selection, and the selectors will be charged with selecting the best possible team, irrespective of whether they are aligned or whether a player is aligned to a particular academy or not. In order to protect against any further suggestion of partiality in this respect, USA Cricket has given up any right to receive revenue directly or indirectly from the operation of the MLC academies. So USA Cricket has no direct financial interest in the success or otherwise of the MLC academies. Finally, a lot has been said about the professional players and coaches that MLC have contracted over the past 12 months, many of whom have played at high levels in other countries. Ultimately, we want players who have learned their cricket in the USA to be populating our national teams. That is the only way that cricket can grow sustainably. And in order to do that, we have to be able to develop our player pathway and create opportunities for all junior players. That is work that is underway. So for example, we're in the process of developing zonal training groups, coaching structures, and facility partnerships across the country, which will ultimately lead to an extensive, centrally coordinated USA Cricket coaching program and structure. The involvement of players who have experienced first-class cricket in full member countries and who know what it takes to play at the highest level in that coaching structure and environment can only help the development of our domestic cricketers and that ecosystem that is currently being built, as they will be asked to assume mentorship and coaching roles with future national team players. By playing and coaching within minor league academies and playing in other domestic cricket, these players will help to lift the standard of cricket in the USA and provide strong competition and challenges for the national squads and teams as they themselves strive to improve their own performance. Since this project commenced, we have been inundated with literally thousands of players seeking opportunities to come to the USA and become a professional cricketer. However, the players that have been brought in by MLC as professionals have been carefully selected and handpicked based on their profile and desire to commit fully to a life and future career in the USA, as well as their ability to contribute to the growing cricketing ecosystems across the country. The USA, of course, has always presented opportunities to immigrants, and many within the cricket community here themselves moved to pursue new careers and lives in their chosen fields. And these opportunities for these professional players who are of a certain profile are no different to that, or to indeed to any county or club cricket professionals that are recruited in the United Kingdom, New Zealand, or elsewhere around the as they have met all of the relevant ICC regulations and the selectors have deemed that they are good enough at that point in time to make selection, then that is a happy byproduct of the investment today. It is not the ultimate goal. And for now, the focus is on these MLC professional players and coaches playing domestically and increasing the quality of minor league cricket, major league cricket, mentoring youth, and improving the playing experience for all those around them. In September of 2020, USA Cricket published its foundational plan, which outlined a vision for 2030 and a series of key initiatives and actions across 5 areas of the business, which would keep USA Cricket on that trajectory. As this deal between USA Cricket and MLC has been put together, it's become apparent that the primary responsibility for some of those initiatives lies with USA Cricket, and for some it lies with MLC. Indeed, in some cases, one party will play a supporting role to the other, whilst in other cases, there will be a joint responsibility to deliver against those initiatives and actions. In order to help explain how the principles that we have just talked about will be realized and put into action operationally moving forward, the next 10 slides step through all of the initiatives identified in the foundational plan and show where the responsibilities to be allocated as between USA Cricket and MLC. We don't have time during the rest of this presentation to go through all of these in great detail and provide comments and observations about why some sit with USA Cricket and why some sit with MLC. But you're invited to review the materials on the USA Cricket website if you're interested in the coming days and delve deeper into exactly what we will be doing over the next 3 years. Right. Thank you very much, everybody who's stuck through the last 30 minutes. Hopefully that gives you a much better understanding of the importance of the deal that has been crafted between USA Cricket and MLC, and just how unique it is in world cricket and in the North American sports market, and how it can help us to achieve the vision that we have collectively decided is the vision for cricket in this country. We'll publish that presentation, both the presentation and the still slides on the website, probably in the next 24 to 48 hours or so. So there was a lot of information in all of that. And again, just like some of the other stuff, you're all invited to go and review it again in your own time. We'd also be happy to address any further questions that come out of these materials, or indeed anything that has been said by any of the chairs of the committees or me, Parag, or others during the course of today's AGM. If you do have any other questions, please write to the media@usacricket.org email address. And we will, depending upon the appetite for questions and the scope of those questions, we will look at other ways to try to address those questions fully and fairly and as effectively as possible over the course of the next little while. That brings me to the final point on the agenda, which is to address the questions that have come up in the agreed manner already. I think we have 6 or 7 questions, and I'll just step through those quickly and direct them to one or other of my colleagues on the USA Cricket Board, depending upon the nature of the subject matter. First of all, there is a question from Fitzroy Hales, which relates to umpiring. I'm just going to read the question out, and then I'm going to pass it on to Venu and ask Venu if he could kindly provide an answer to this question. Can you speak on the role of the current USA Cricket Umpires Association and the plans for such organisation? 6 volunteer coordinators, what their current functions and responsibilities are. He must mean the umpire volunteer coordinators. And finally, do you have to be a member of the current USA CUA to be recognised by USA Cricket? Over to you, Venu, please.
Thanks, Ian. So the first part of the question, the relation between the USA Cricket Umpires Association and USA Cricket, there is not any relation as such, but we do recognize there is, it's one of the umpire associations that currently exist in the country. And some of the members of that organization are currently involved with USA Cricket initiatives and helping us, by volunteering. And the second part, the 6 volunteer umpire coordinators were appointed across 6 zones. So their current role is to help the USA Cricket management to roll out the certification program. So which is currently they're planning to roll out very soon. And that's their, the main role at this time. And we may also utilize them to, when the COVID situation changes, and they may conduct live sessions, within their respective zones, as and when it is time to. And the last question, no, anyone can directly become a USA Cricket member and be part of the umpiring programs initiated by us. And definitely not necessarily be a member of the umpire association, but we don't stop you from becoming a member in both organizations. But to answer your question, you don't need to be a member
in the USA CUA to involve in USA cricket. Hope I answered that question.
Thank you, Veni. I think that answered those questions. The next question is from Chaitanya Kalapala. And this is a question directed to Sushil, Chair of the Cricket Committee. The talent in the US is immense and it is being wasted with no exposure on the international scene or any proper path for the youth to progress and work towards a career in professional cricket from the USA. This needs to change. We need our talent, mainly the youth, to have the possibility of a bright future in the game. Sushil, would you like to just make an observation on that comment?
Yes, definitely. Thanks for the question, Chaitanya. It is a very relevant question for all stakeholders within USA Cricket. Certainly our youth is the future and we need to give them the best possible opportunity for success. That being said, there are a few different elements that I believe are required for a youth cricketer today in the US to make it successful at a professional level. And the starting point is our domestic structure. So where I see things right now is we've just gotten our hands around the under-19s, as everybody knows. And our big project is to send them to the World Cup. But around that, we certainly have plans to put in the domestic structure for all the other age groups that are relevant. For instance, the under-17s, under-15s, under-13s, even under-11s. But there's one age group that is very important for us not to miss out on, which is like the under-21s or the under-23s. These are the under-19s that are coming out of that structure. So those plans are certainly in play. I would say infrastructure is a huge deal, and you can see turf wickets popping up all over the country. So that's an important one. Sponsorships, we're certainly getting sponsorships. A lot of interest in sponsoring tournaments, which would make it easier for folks to come and participate in these tournaments that we are putting together at a national level. And certainly moving forward, the T20 minor league, which is already in play, as well as the big major league that is about to be launched next year. That is really going to put the icing on the cake and provide the right framework for our youth to also continue to progress the game. And lastly, I don't want to forget college cricket, because youth that are aspiring to go from high school into colleges should still get an opportunity to continue their passion of playing cricket. So certainly college cricket will also be a part of the national pathways. So just summarizing all that, I just want to make it clear that there's certainly a lot of activity in play right now. And let's not forget COVID, right? In an ideal world, we want to accomplish all this yesterday, but we are living in a COVID world, and we need to do all this as safely as possible for each and every individual. Thanks.
Thank you, Sushil. There are a couple of questions that have come in a series of questions from Babu Venkata Chalapathy, and also from Tom Melville. I think we have managed to address these questions during the course of the meeting. They relate to the AGM, the format of the AGM, some membership issues which we've discussed at length, and also questions around the release of the board minutes, which I addressed earlier. So hopefully we've addressed those points for you. There's three other questions. One is simply, what are the names of the 3 new teams that are added to minor league cricket? And I have the answer to that here. I don't have the team names, but the 3 new cities for minor league in 2021 will be Seattle, New York, and St. Louis. Then 2 final questions. Bear with me one moment, please. One question, I think, both from Nate Hayes, I think one related to what we are planning to do in respect of the Audi Cup, now that Canada's COVID policies have caused the cancellation of the ICC's regional T20 qualifier in Canada. We were planning to play the Audi Cup immediately after that. I think the answer to that question is that we're still very keen to play the Audi Cup, and both in the men's format, and we'd also like to reignite relations with Canada in the women's game, and also in the boys and the girls games as well. So we're hoping to actually expand on our relationship generally with our local neighbors in Canada and start to build some local rivalries around the place in that respect. But in terms of what we're trying to do to keep that alive, the ICC will hopefully be making a decision about when and where the ICC's regional T20 qualifier will be played during the course of this summer. If not in Canada, they are looking at contingency plans at the moment, and depending upon where that lands, we may well stay in that location and hopefully complete our commitment to play the Audi Cup at that point in time. And then finally, the final question, I think, is for the Olympics. And we've heard a lot about the Olympics and the aspirations that we and the ICC appear to have in terms of getting cricket included in the Olympics. A question from Nate is, what is our stance in respect of the T20 format versus a T10 format? I think at this point in time, USA Cricket would be happy with either format in the Olympics. The objective is clearly to get cricket into the Olympics. I think it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for this cricket community at this point in time. It would have an enormous catalytic effect on the growth of the sport in this country. And whether it's T20 cricket or T10 format, I'm not sure that USA Cricket has formed a particular view about that. Obviously, as the host country, we would like to think that the qualification criteria would allow USA Cricket to participate in any event. But realistically, it boils down to what the ICC want to do, and what the ICC, working in conjunction with the International Olympic Committee, would want to do in respect of whether it's T10 format or T20 format. And there are a number of different political conundrums around all of that that will need to be worked through over the course of time. T20 obviously offers perhaps more opportunity for more teams, and probably requires a lesser infrastructure challenge. But nevertheless, T20 is obviously the international short form format, and the International Olympic Committee are particularly keen to see the best players in the best international formats participate. So we're not at this point entirely sure where that debate will land. We just want to get cricket into the Olympics. I have a question, one final question, which is just a late question, just crept in. This is for Suraj. Suraj, if you could just unmute yourself. Question from Peter Della Penna. Suraj said in his presentation that a turf wicket has been cultivated in Kentucky, but there is no minor league team designated to be in Kentucky, nor is there one designated to Indianapolis, where another turf wicket that hosted ICC events in 2015 now lays dormant. Why are cities and locations without turf wickets being prioritized for MILC over cities that do have turf wickets? Suraj.
So that is something that we are working, PDP, that's a great question. So these communities are willing to put in the turf wicket right now. So we are taking advantage of those communities who are stepping up. Yeah.
Thank you, Suraj. So my understanding is it's not necessarily one of the places where minor league is or MLC is investing in. It's efforts that have come through the local community, and you and MLC are just providing support, know-how, and expertise in order to assist them themselves to develop those turf facilities. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. I think that brings us to the end of the meeting. It's been hopefully very informative for all of you. Sorry that there's been a lot of long and dry presentations, but there was a lot of information that we really wanted to convey to you at this point in the year. Thank you very much for your support of USA Cricket. Thank you to all of the USA Cricket board directors for their efforts today and also over the past couple of years. It's all greatly appreciated. And We look forward to the next one of these meetings and also to picking up our plans to go on a roadshow during the course of the summer, where hopefully we'll get to have these conversations in person and have a bit more of the direct face-to-face contact. Look forward to your support over the summer too, at minor league, at the ICC's regional qualifier events, and generally around the grounds. Good luck to everyone over the summer with their cricketing activities. And other than that, thank you very much on behalf of USA Cricket.